Good afternoon and welcome to Rubbin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Now, democracy is government by the people, of the people, for the people. And while in Nigeria we have the APC elected, we still have other parties, which means that some people came out to the polls and voted for other parties. But when you look at the recent polls, you begin to wonder, what is the opposition doing? Where are these parties when you need them the most? The role they're supposed to play in holding this present administration accountable, they are not able to do that. And that's because there's a lot of internal crisis in some of the major opposition parties. And this doesn't favor a democracy where people's interests need to be represented and there needs to be checks and balances, right? So we're going to look at some of the internal issues, some of the issues going on with these parties and how it's affecting the polity, how it's affecting the politics and the electorate. Now, joining me here in the studio is a public analyst, Leonard Ebute. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you, Isabella. Happy to be here.
And we also have joining us via Zoom an author and development economist, Seun Awogbenle. Seun, welcome to Rubbin Minds.
It's good to see you again, Isabella. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So I'll start with you, Leonard. Now, we look at the opposition party. The APC is the ruling party, but once upon a time, they were in the opposition, and they must have done something right to now become the ruling party. Do you see the current opposition parties getting their act together, or are they blinded by all the internal politics that they're not able to hold this government accountable?
Well, once again, happy to be here. The thing is this: if we go back 2014, right, there was no APC. In 2014, early the conversation started happening and there was an amalgamation of interest groups, and the singular objective of that, those interest groups was to seize power, right? Ultimately, that is what political parties want to have, to be in power. Now they succeeded because also, as at the time, if you recall, the PDP, who had ruled since 1999, was in crisis. A lot of governors were decamping last minute to join this new amalgamation. And the PDP took it for granted. Matter of fact, the word there was, forget about them, they don't have electoral value, talking about the people at war with the party. History now shows that those people had electoral value and got the APC elected into government, led by Setin Amechi as at that time. Now, fast forward to the modern time, the APC has been in power, a smooth transition from an APC president to another APC president. The learning the PDP and Labour Party, who are the two key opposition parties right now, should have taken from that is they cannot afford to have internal wranglings within themselves. Because now the APC really doesn't need to do much. It's in power, and the credible opposition whose role is to provide alternative governance, alternative policies, an alternative set of leaders to the electorate as a better option is bogged down with crisis left, right, and center. And it begs the question, over what? There is no power there to share, and yet they have this internal crisis across board. And it takes something away from our democracy, like you said. If an avenue for elevating the standard does not exist, then the status quo becomes the only option, and therefore complacency sets in.
Okay. I'm going to move to Seun, and I want to get your views on where the electorate stands. Do we see the possibility of having our voices heard and what we're feeling communicated by these opposition parties? Or are these opposition parties too busy amongst themselves trying to settle whatever internal ranklings that they're not able to get back to the people, be in one with the people, and like Leonard said, have that mindset of seizing power, getting back into office?
parties because they are the ones who field the candidates and they present the options at the election. So when you look at it more fundamentally, you're talking about the challenge of a lack of commitment to a sense of higher purpose or ideal. You find that most people who, when you actually do join a political party, you're meant to join the political party because you share the conviction of that party and you share the values of that party. Whereas what drives most people in other parts of the world is that sense of commitment to a higher purpose. But what you do find that is that in Nigeria, what drives most political players is not a sense of commitment to any higher purpose or ideal. It is essentially the desperation to seize and control power. Now, whereas, when you look at it everywhere in the world, politics is governed by ideas, it's governed by ideology. And then you find that people, based on their own conviction, they then, pitch their tent with either side of the divide. So you are talking about, when you look at the political spectrum broadly, you are talking about either as a center right or you're talking about as a center left, a far right or a far left. There's also the concept of centricism. But what you will find is that in most cases, you find either people are either center right or they are center left. So center right, small government, privatize, liberalize, deregulate, and then a commitment to also bring down taxes. But you find that for center left, it is more welfareist, bigger government and bigger spending by government. So what you then find is that when people look at each side of the political divide, they then decide, oh, this is the one I want to be with. But if the reason you have this problem is because most of the politicians in Nigeria lack that sense of commitment to that binding vision. Now, when you don't have that binding vision, you cannot alter an alternative sense of ideas. And that's why you find that most of the opposition political parties today continue to struggle. They struggle because even internally, they are not able to conceptualize their own idea. They don't know what they stand for. What do they stand for example? And that's because you find that the same people who are in Party B or Party C, they are the same ones you find in Party A. And that's why in Nigeria today, they talk about a bigger political family and not, any sort of political difference. So I think that for the political parties to survive and because political opposition is very fundamental to the survival of any democracy. So for the political parties to survive, one, we need to talk about actually conceptualizing the idea behind these political parties. Are they center right? Are they center left? Are they centrist in nature or in outlook? Are they far right? Are they far left? That's where you start from. Then the second thing is that the political parties must go beyond just offering press releases and just condemning everything to actually offering alternative set of practical ideas. So when you say, oh, government the reforms are not good, so what reforms are good? You must go beyond just condemning things to actually offering a set of different political ideas, and that's what should govern the political party. And they can't do that because they don't even know what they stand for. It is when you know what you stand for, when you have an overarching vision of what society should look like, that you can actually propose a different set of ideas. And then, so, and lastly, just before you take it over, Isabella, is that beyond conceptualizing and being able to offer practical ideas is the relatability of these political parties. People can't relate with them. They need to come down from their high horse. People need, for example, it is difficult to actually register to be a member of a political party in Nigeria. You have to go back to your ward, in Isoko or anywhere in Nigeria. It should be easy for anybody who wants to be a member of a political party to just be able to do it just by pressing a key on their laptop or anything. So we're talking about an entire overhaul of the system that is committed to a sense of higher vision, higher idea, and a vision of society, really. So that I think that's where we need to start from.
Thank you, Sean. That's quite a loaded answer, Leonard. And I want to pick on something which has to do with political membership. If these parties are to play their role in society, holding government accountable, offering alternate governance and policies, they also need to be supported by a structure. Now, in your experience, how easy is it to join a political party? How easy is it to contribute? So a lot of times we say it's beyond the polls, it's beyond getting your PVC and registering. It's about also joining a political party. But what's the practicality for Nigerians? And do Nigerians have options to choose parties based on ideological differences? Or is it more of, this is the party that I believe is going to get into power, so I want to support. And because this party doesn't have the structure, I'm not going to waste my vote. Wow,
so that's, you just asked that question like you've been a politician yourself. You see, the thing is this, in mature democracies, there's a fundamental gap between liberal politics and conservative politics, right? Democrats, Republicans, Labour, and Tory, whatever it is. That divide is clear ideologically and even in the philosophy that formed the organization. In Africa and in many other democracies, even including America of today, it is Trumpism. The Republican Party of today is significantly different from the Republican Party before Trump. This is now built around the philosophy of Trump, a new MAGA American movement that is built around a person and that person's ideology. And this is not really a bad thing. In Nigeria, for example, it is impractical to distinguish fundamentally between the APC's manifesto and PDP manifesto. The reason being that they were written by the same persons around focusing on the same issues. The objective of government is to provide good governance, and also welfare. Now we can argue about how best to approach that welfare, right? But we shouldn't argue about whether to give that welfare or good governance to the people. And in our country, it is important for the good guy to get into power before he can do those good things. So there is no realistic path to power based on some idealist political philosophy or agenda that you sell on TV, via campaign and all that. There is need for a robust political structure, architecture that can take you there. This is the blunt truth. And this is not entirely a bad thing. Why do the good guys shy away from taking a place in the structures that can meaningfully take them to power? Without being in power, you cannot deliver the governance that you promise the people. So this is it. And in terms of how to participate and join a political party, you can do that this moment. It's easy. You walk into any ward.
So you don't have to go back to your ward.
You can join where you sit. There is a ward there. It doesn't have to be your village. You can practice your politics from anywhere you like. You live in Isheri, there's a ward in the Isheri ward. You just walk in there and you get your membership card and you get it on the spot. For any of the political parties, it doesn't take nothing. Party dues are tiny sums of money. I think 1,000 or 500. It's nothing that anybody can. And sometimes political parties will waive it towards an election. So in terms of ease of joining a political party, is as easy as it can possibly be. That is not the barrier. Okay?
Okay, I'll move to Sean now. And in really developing a formidable opposition, there needs to be some level of unity amongst the different political parties in coming up with alternative policies. Like you said, it's not just about press releases, but it's about engaging the people, representing their interests. So how can the opposition parties truly represent the interests of the people? What needs to happen to see them come together so they can be a formidable opposition, which is necessary for a thriving democracy?
Well, I mean, do they need to come together? Well, I'm not very sure. But also I would argue that essentially to sort of unseat the ruling government, you might need some sort of coalition, right? But it goes back to what I'm saying. There must be some level of intersection between these political parties. I mean, as they would rightly say, can two work together lest they agree? If the political parties don't share the same conviction, if they don't share the same idea, if they don't share a sense of what the society should look like. If you don't share this interest, I think it will be difficult to say, they should coalesce into a political party, because what you are then likely to have is a problem in the end. They would win the election, but they will find it difficult to govern, as you probably currently see. So the point is that you need to define what the political parties stand for. And that's my point. It should be about principle. It should be about a common idea. If you are not able to define what they stand for, then it will be difficult.
Sorry, I'd like to push this back to you, because you talk about structures. We're in a democracy that runs on the party structure. So in that case, if your party is too small, there's a likelihood that you won't be able to make a difference. You won't be able to get the kind of votes that you need, right? And if you're not in power, you can't do these things. So from a sense of, okay, swelling of political membership, the data, if you can't attract people, like in your words, saying that it's not easy to get in there, then perhaps another strategy is to look at other parties that are aligned with the same ideologies. So if you're all to the left, you can come together. So I'd like you to react to that.
That's exactly my point. That, it shouldn't just be about, the desperation to seize power, right? It should be about whether or not they agree on, or they agree in principle, whether or not they have shared interests, whether or not they believe in the same thing. And like you said, if you have a leaning towards the left, then you can come together. If you have a leaning towards the right, you can come together. But I'm saying that if you have a political party that has a leaning to the right and another that has a leaning, and I'll give you an example. The NNPC, for example, in my reading, sort of has a leaning to the left. And the PDP, for example, has a leaning to the right. So if they come together, you can already tell that there's, you're likely to run into a problem in the end. So my point is that
I'll allow you to react, because you're of the opinion that who is in the PDP was once in the APC, and who's in the APC was once in the PDP, and that's why when you look at their manifestos, you can hardly tell the difference, because it's not based on ideology. So are we looking at a formidable opposition that is in, that has representation, say, geographically? So you have Abga strong in the southeast, you have those kind of parties, or are we looking at them coming together to form a strong and formidable opposition? What's the practicality, really?
Okay, so full disclosure, first of all, I'm a card-carrying member of the APC, right? And I consider myself a strong grassroots personality for the party. When political parties organize, they organize for one purpose above all else. There may be others, but that one purpose, overarching purpose, is to take the apparatus of power. And then those of us that are patriots, who are believers in this country, you then want to say, having taken the apparatus of power, how do we convert this power to governance and welfare for the people? So even though the APC is in power, it is in my interest, though I'm an APC member, but I'm primarily, fundamentally a Nigerian. It is in my interest to have discussions that elevate the standards of governance higher and higher, that puts the APC in a position where they cannot but deliver welfare to the people. And this comes when the opposition is vibrant and strong. I do not want them in power. I want to remain in power. That is from a politician's point of view. But as a Nigerian, the stronger the opposition is, the better my party will perform.
So if there are the checks and balances,
one of the checks and balances, let us remember that we also have the National Assembly, who is an institutional check and balance. Then we now have civil society, which fundamentally right now where we are in Nigeria is more effective than the political parties. And I believe that that is where partnerships need to happen. The opposition will bet easier partner with civil society than partner with themselves.
Okay. That's all we can take on this segment. Thank you very much, Leonard Ibute, a public analyst. And thank you, Shionwa Wugbinle, author and development economist. We'll go on a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Rubbin Minds. Now, We have inflation at a record high. We have the dollar trading to the naira at about 1617. The pound has crossed over 2,000 naira. We're purchasing petrol for over 1,000 naira across Nigeria. And we've all seen what some of the hard changes have caused in terms of the economy. I mean, popular Grammy-nominated recording and performing artist Davido said that the economy is in shambles, and this was in relation to the upcoming Dirty December, young people coming back to Nigeria. So a lot of Nigerians are seeking greener pastures in more developed climes, and it's become a phenomenon known as Japa. Whether it's through school, through marriage, through employment, people are moving. Nigerians are moving in droves to Canada, to different parts of Europe, to the US. But every once in a while, you come across a story of reverse Japa, also known as Japada, and you begin to wonder, what are they seeing in Nigeria that they're leaving these greener climes to return back to Nigeria? And we have one of such people, a Japadian, as you may, Sheyi Ajayi, who's a blogger. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you, Isabella.
So Sheyi, it's great to have you, and I'm sure you were once living abroad. Can you tell us where and when did the idea come to return to Nigeria, and what made you actually, take a move and actually buy that ticket and move to Nigeria?
Yeah, so I lived in Toronto, and the idea to really come back came in the pandemic, when a lot of people had the opportunity, because of remote work and stuff like that, to come back home for some time, figure life out and stuff like that. So in 2021 was when I actually first tested it out to see that, okay, is this something that I cannot do? Because as somebody who grew up initially grew up for half of my life in Nigeria, then I moved with my family to Canada. I was like, you know what, let me see, because people were coming here, they were realizing so many gaps and areas of opportunities of things that they could do, and I'm like, you know what, me too, I'm good at problem solving, I'm good at thinking of solutions, and I really am very pro-Nigeria, and even if Nigeria is Nigeria, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was something that I was just like, why not, right? Let's test it out. I'm in my 20s, this is the time to do that, to explore opportunities, and so yeah.
So the idea came in 2021, and did you immediately pack your bags, not look back, or how did it all come together?
That's exactly what it is. I packed my bags, I not looked back, and I was like, let me go test it out. Let me go for a couple months and go and see what Nigeria is actually saying.
So you tested it out in 2021?
Yes.
And did you stay till the end, or did you move back, and when did you now finally make that decision?
So I stayed for a few months after 2021 until I went back to Toronto, and then I came back properly this year. So I've actually been in Nigeria since September this year, and I was in this, in the summer in Toronto, I was just I had the option of either staying or coming back, and I don't know, I just felt this pull, I don't know, I want to be here. I want to figure something out, because growing up, seeing the way people's parents were able to change their life by just recognizing different opportunities. I have a family friend where, because they manufactured malaria medicine, their family solved the problem, and they were able to do so much and impact so many other lives and businesses around them as well. And I was like, I want to do the same thing. I want to see where I can add value, and I'm putting myself out there. So if you guys already don't know, obviously she said my name is Sheyi Ajayi, and I've been blogging my experience with renovating my first home in Nigeria, and I'm just putting myself out there to see what possibilities are really out there in Nigeria. Yeah.
No, what's interesting is you came to test it out in 2021.
Yeah.
When I think of 2021, I think about the price of petrol, I think about cost of transportation, living expensive, cost of food. Your experience in 2021 versus your experience in 2024, what have the differences been? And has that in any way confirmed or maybe made you interrogate your decision to Japada, to return to Nigeria for good?
2024's economy is definitely different. It's definitely different. Things are more expensive. Things are harder for a lot of people. Coming back, I was determined to come back with a plan to see okay, if I'm going to choose to come back in T-Pain's economy, as they call it, I need to know like what value I can add so that I'm also making sure that I'm taking care of myself while also exploring other possibilities. So because there's so many opportunities with like remote work and different things that you can do, like really and truly in Nigeria, if you look for where to solve a problem, you really can solve problems and actually also like support yourself doing that. So that's why I came in with a plan, knowing that if I'm going to come here, I'm going to come here with like a plan to support myself so that I'm not feeling because the economy is expensive. Like it's everybody.
And there's no feel like, oh, I wish I was still earning in USD or Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
And when you see the number of people going back to Canada or to the US or to Europe, does it make you question your decision? Like, what are they seeing there? And have I gotten comfortable, or have you gotten what you wanted from abroad that you feel like, okay, for whatever it is, it could be having a second passport, it could be enjoying good education, and you feel like, okay, I've gotten what I want, but now the next level of my life is Nigeria that holds that promise or that potential?
Exactly what you said. I feel like people who are Jackpot, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like abroad, Canada, all those places, like they afford people like somewhere that has like a system. It's systematic and it's predictable, right? So if somebody is looking for that in that period of their life, I think it's fair for them to want to pursue that if like the country that you're living is not giving you that. Because I am in a phase in my life where, like I said before, I'm young, I'm quite adaptable, I'm quite resilient. I'm just testing out what can possibly be done. I have the opportunity and I have the privilege to come back to explore that idea, and I think that it's definitely worth exploring because why not, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
And let's talk about the social aspect. You know, there are videos online, you see people who have gone abroad and they're now coming to terms with the harsh realities of whether it's the weather, cost of living, or even the fact that people live far from each other and it can get really lonely and cold.
Yeah.
How has that been in Nigeria, considering that you've lived in Nigeria many years ago and you're now returning? Do you have family, support system? Have people been welcoming? Has it been easy to find work, to make friends, get into a relationship maybe?
There's so many things packed in that one question. I would definitely say that like family and support is unmatched in Nigeria. Like even people that are not necessarily like your direct relatives or something, like you always have community, you always have support, people that are willing to just like help you and be there for you. That's one of the things that really like struck out to me when I first like tested it out in 2021, was just like how much people were so willing to help you out, like whether you knew them. Like it really was one of those things that really like meant a lot to me. So yeah, family, community support, so unmatched in Nigeria. In terms of dating,
like how are the guys here compared to the guys abroad? I mean, you know, Dirty December is coming, and you know, a lot of IJGBs that I just got back, people will be coming from the diaspora to have a great time. You know, so if you compare maybe the social scene, the dating scene in Canada as a young female to Nigeria, which do you prefer?
Definitely Nigeria. Like I think that dating as a young woman in like Canada is quite tough and quite challenging because obviously the standards of beauty there is different. I'm obviously a visibly like dark-skinned woman as well, and men they're not very like, you know, in Nigeria if you step into somewhere, before you enter, somebody's telling you, okay, fine, lady, they're already exactly, they're toasting you, they're complimenting you. So it feels nice to be acknowledged in that way. It feels nice to like feel beautiful in like your own skin and like know that people around you like are appreciating that. And men here are very like I like the way dating is, you know, approached. It doesn't mean that there are not many problems with it, with the way men act in this country.
But what about opportunities? Because you talk about problem solving. Are there particular opportunities you've seen that, oh, this has the potential, like you said, you could identify a problem and become a millionaire from it, whether it's selling malaria medicine or distributing a product. So what are some of the opportunities that are here for others who might be considering to Japada or to return back to Nigeria for good?
Yeah, I think that like honestly, like anything that involves trust building. So I'm excited to like venture into something that requires like trust building. So like I said before, like in my current experience renovating my first home in Lagos, like 2 days towards like my first moving date, our Tyler went missing, right? Very quintessential like Nigerian experience that everybody goes through. So like I'm excited to explore what like it looks like to build more trust in Nigeria. Like we need more trust in this country. Like just trust, because we have different things that are set up right now and the infrastructure is getting better, but I think that trust is definitely one thing that will take us from like where we are to like somewhere even better, for sure.
And what has surprised you the most about Nigeria since moving back? Good, bad, ugly, everything.
What has surprised me the most? That's a really good question. I would honestly say the level of support. I really mean it. Like, there was one time where Google Maps took me through some random road where I actually got stuck in like a ditch, and I was like actually scared because I'm like, I don't know these people around here. Is somebody going to come and, I don't know, like, you know, get at me or something? But like people literally went in their Sunday's outfit to take my car out of a ditch that was in a pothole in water just to make sure that I was okay, and I came out. And I've had that experience like in different like regards where like people are consistently like so willing to help and support you. So yeah, that's the one thing that surprised me, because I feel like the narrative of like Nigeria is very negative, and it's like, yes, that exists, but there are other truths that exist as well. So yeah.
And as someone who has lived abroad, what are things that can be done in Nigeria for quick wins that, you know, we have more people returning because those things they seek abroad are now here in Nigeria? And that would be my final question.
Can you repeat that?
So, as someone who has lived abroad, there are certain things that are there that make people want to go there. So what can be done to make this place the green pastures that more people will want to return? So that expertise you've gotten abroad, how can that translate into making this the Japada destination?
I honestly think that very simple things are just like solving everyday inconveniences, even something like light, like water, like those little things that make such a world of a difference are places where people can actually plug themselves into and solve. But the issue goes deeper than what it really just seems like at the top. But yeah, little everyday, anything that you can do to solve little everyday inconveniences is what definitely will make more people want to come back, and just like setting up like more infrastructure so that it's easier to get things done, right? Like every government is like, every government has its own thing, right? Like Service Ontario, for example, is a government that I had in Canada, and people still complain about Service Ontario. When you go to Service Ontario and want to do something, you still have to come back again. And it's a very similar experience in Nigeria. When you want to go to the government and do something, you still have to come back again. So every government like faces that. It's just more so like how quickly you're able to progress and get towards where you want to go. So I think that can definitely like make a world of a difference.
Thank you so much, Seyi Ajayi, and all the best with your blogging and your Japadarian experience.
Yes.
Thank you for being our guest on Rubbin.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back to Rubbin Minds. It's now time for our entertainment segment. And even before he was announced as the winner of the wildly popular reality show, the phrase, "the money is married," was all over social media. And lo and behold, came as no surprise as KellyRae was voted as the winner of Big Brother Naija No Lose Guard, and we have him here on Rubbin Minds. KellyRae, welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much.
So, Bibi Naija No Lose Guard. At any point, did you feel that you lose guard small for house, or at all points you were on the thing, you were on the money?
No, I never felt like I was guarded. Yes, although I didn't know I was going to win. Yeah, but I was always just grateful for every day that I spent in the house. Yes, but for me, I never was guarded at all.
Okay, so you went in as a pair with your wife. No married man or woman has won Big Brother Naija.
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind that it could work against you, that the public was not yet ready for someone who was married, considering they made it to the finals but never as winners?
Yeah, my wife and I, going into the house, we told ourselves our case is different. Ebuka asked us, he told us that no married couple or no married individual has won this show. And my wife actually said it, that our case is different, and we've always been moving with that mindset. So we just went into the house to do our thing. Yeah, we actually didn't plan any strategy. Although we had to lie that we were not a couple, that we were besties. We didn't
But that's a strategy in itself.
See,
and why lie? Why deceive your
actually, yeah. We didn't go and say it with the intention of having it as a strategy. But coming out of the house, we realized it's now one of the biggest strategies ever. Yeah, we actually said it because we didn't want the housemate to give us some form of isolation. So, no, okay, there's a couple, for example, we're the only couple in the house, married couple, and then there will be some sort of isolation from my wife. The guys might not want to dance with her, the girls might not want to dance with me, you know, and then, so that's the main reason we had to lie. But then it turned out to be one of the biggest strategies ever, yeah.
So did you have rules and regulations when going into the house in trying to be besties but not husband and wife?
Should I call them rules and regulations?
Or commandments, or you can't do this. If he starts to hold your waist and moves like this, you have to...
There were times, like, I think the first and second week, or middle of the second week, there were times, a lot of times where my wife would call me baby, and then at some point I'll take her to one corner, I'll be like, you've called me baby like 19 times today. She would say, oh, I forgot, sorry, you know. So we just told ourselves, okay, let's play it as besties. No baby, no, let's not be touchy. Let's just try. Although we tried, but then I think the housemates, they still noticed the chemistry between the both of us. Yeah.
Okay. You didn't quite answer the question about if you had rules. Like, did you tell her she can't dance too long with a certain guy?
No. Actually,
they can't wind their waist?
No. I told her that she should make friends. Let's make friends, but let's not have boundaries. Because going into the house, I knew we were going to have lots of critics. Like, people who say, this stupid boy, you're exposing your marriage. You understand? And I told her, let's show them that we know what we're doing. Yeah, by having boundaries. We can mingle, but let's have boundaries. That's what I told her, yes.
Okay. And you said you didn't think you were going to win. At what point did it become a reality? And did it ever occur to you, like, I would rather my wife win? Or did you want to win it for the two of you?
Well, for me, anything would have worked, my wife or me. But my wife preferred, if they had asked her, do you want to leave for your husband? Do you want one of you to leave? She would have volunteered to leave. Yeah. So
would you have volunteered to leave for her?
Yeah, if she wants to stay, I will. The money is married, we're a family. It's coming home at the end of the day. So I didn't know I was going to win, but haven't win the grand prize. But I haven't gotten to the fourth, fifth week. I told my wife, maybe we've won already. Is it a win already? Because whether we win the grand prize or not, because I always say it, there are two wins. Grand prize and the win, you win outside the house. You can win the grand prize and not even win outside the house. You can win the grand prize and win outside the house. So whichever way, at least win, have a win. You understand? So I haven't gotten to like the fourth, fifth week. I was already thanking God, like, God, thank you, we've won already.
So having left the house as the grand prize winner, do you feel that you and your wife have won outside of the house, meaning, you know, the endorsements, the invitations to events, you know, the celebrity life status, where your fans donating money to buy you houses and cars? Do you feel that you've won outside of the house?
Yes, we've won outside of the house, big time. It doesn't matter whether we've signed 1 million deals right now. It depends on your mindset. Before I went to the house, days where I had nothing, I knew I'd won in life. Being alive is a win for me. Yeah, so we've won.
But a lot of people go into Big Brother Nigeria house because they want to be famous and they want to have endorsements and they want to have deals. Do you feel that you've gotten that, your wife has gotten that, and the remaining housemates, do you feel they've received that level of love, attention from the fans, gifts as previous housemates?
Okay, I've heard a lot of people say ours is not or hasn't been like that of the previous housemates. But I'll say this, if any of my fellow housemates, if any of them are watching me right now, they should know this, that things doesn't have to happen the way they've happened before. It depends on how you see things. Okay, well, they said as soon as we went into the house, there was a riot. Yeah, there was a protest, rather. I see it as a blessing. Nothing is a cost to me. Everything works out. At the end of the day, everything works out in your favor. That's what matters. So if a previous housemate came out, and on the first week he signed 19 deals, and you came out after a month, you've not signed up to 3 deals. Be positive, man. At the end of the day, you've won already, so be positive. It doesn't have to happen the way it has happened before. Things might be greater. Greater things actually take new turns.
Greater things take new turns. So what are the new opportunities you've been exploring, and have you been able to deal with your newfound success, celebrityhood of being not just a winner outside of BB Niger House, but the actual grand prize winner, which comes with lots of money and exciting prizes?
I won't lie, yeah? There are times where I actually forget that, okay, yeah, KellyRae, you just won Big Brother and you're on this level now. You know, it feels like yesterday I was here and boom, today I'm here. Yeah? Like I was ready for it, I was ready, but I didn't know, I've never been here before, so I won't lie, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I'm trying to cope. Yeah, the first week I came out, there was a day I wanted to stroll out to buy a charger. So they had to remind me, where are you going to? I said, I want to get charger. They're like, are you joking? Oh, I forgot, sorry. You get, but I think I'm really, I'm used to it now, better at it, yeah. I'm better at it, yeah. A lot better at it. And see, I'm happy for where I am. I'm happy for even the other housemates, for everybody. Even if we, like I said, even if things are not working the way you guys think things should work, trust me, things are working for our good. So I'm happy.
It's good to see that camaraderie between housemates, because a lot of times there's a lot of toxicity and we see fans at war. Have you found yourself in that position where you don't have an issue with another housemate, but it's the fans that are at it, and whether it's you, your wife, or other housemates?
Yes, I have. And I think it's a normal thing, because in the street of Big Brother, there are things you cannot take away. Yeah, that's the fun. That's the way they have fun. Leave them to do their thing. They're not fighting physically. Yeah, you cannot tell them to stop, and then the internet will be boring.
So they should continue to fight. So the internet
they're not fighting physically. Do you understand? Now, you can't tell them to stop. Where I come from, that's why you see trolls online. It doesn't even affect me, because you are mad, you are crazy. We joke with it.
But in a day where mental health is now the topic of discussion and cyberbullying exists, don't you think the housemates have the responsibility to sometimes call their fans to order, not just leave them on a rampage for entertainment value?
Okay, one thing I'll say is, I think your personality tends to show in your fans a lot, because some of my fans, we met and they told me, don't think we are really very quiet people. We are this way because of how you act, how you carry yourself. You understand? Yeah. I tell people I'm a positive-minded person. Yeah. I don't even have time for your beef. Yeah. I don't have time. If you have business, come, we'll do business. Do you get? So I think your character will tell how your fans will behave. So me, I can tell. I don't know about other people's fan base. My fan base, we're peaceful people. Positivity runs around. So we're positive-minded people. So I don't know about other people. Of course, I see it sometimes. I go online and I see them fighting and all, but my fan base, except maybe you come first, but cool people. And then I also say this, yeah. I think in the street of Big Brother, before you go into the house, me, speaking for myself, I already knew what I was getting myself into. Yes, even if we fight against cyberbully and all that, it will not stop at once. So you should know that, okay, me, I want to become a celebrity, a popular face. There are things that will go with it. So you have to make up your mind. Are you ready for it? Do you get? Me, I was ready. And although I think my wife wasn't too ready, but to God be the glory, I'm always there to call her, pull her to others. So.
And speaking about your wife, your marriage, how would you assess your marriage outside of Big Brother Niger House? Has it been better for the experience? Have things changed because of the newfound popularity that your wife is receiving, that you are receiving? Has it affected the dynamics in any way?
Not at all. Not at all. We're still same lovebirds that we used to be. You know, we've been doing this thing for over 10 years. So.
But surely you have female fans and your wife has male fans. And we know how fans can be. They can slide into the DMs, send all sorts of things. How do you manage that? Because, like you said, there are certain things that come with this newfound popularity that comes with, you know, the BB Nigeria experience.
Like I always say, you set your boundaries. You can chat, joke, but you have your boundaries. Yeah, there's a block button. If you want to block, you block. You have your choice. If you want to end the conversation, you end it, put an end to it. So you just set your boundaries. That's it. Whether they come at you or not, you cannot take this part away that your fans are beautiful people. Where you are right now, it's God used them to put you there. So you can't take away that fact. So just set your boundaries.
And do you see yourself and your wife, by extension, as the poster children for more married couples to consider Big Brother Naija? Because a lot of times people feel like, I should not go if I'm married, what's going to happen? Do you now find like you're now an example for others? And do you see more married people going into the house as a result?
Yes, I do. But I'll say this. Know yourself. Know who you're dating, know who you're married to. Yes, of course, my life or my journey will be an example, but it doesn't have to be exactly how I did mine. Yes, what worked for me might not work for you. So, of course, I see couples going into Big Brother house, but just know yourself and know how strong your marriage is. Because it's a risk, I won't lie. But I from the onset, I knew who I was married to. Yes, I knew. So I had no fear at all.
At any time, did you doubt that decision?
No time.
What about your wife? And how did she deal with her being voted out and you remaining in the house?
She was cool with it because, you know, before, I don't know if this happened before we went into the house or we were in the house. When we had the conversation, like I just said, baby, what if they split us? So she was like, no, it's not possible. Okay, if they split us, what will happen to the dual names like Double K and all? I was like, okay, I don't know, but I was just thinking. She now said, hey, they split us and they ask us who would go home. She will volunteer to leave because she actually went into the house because of me. She never really liked this celebrity life. She just wanted to be making her money on the low. Yes, so that's it.
Okay, and speaking of making her money on the low, you making your money, what opportunities are you now embracing? Are there new businesses you're now exploring as a result of the BB Nigeria experience? And what kind of fans expect from you? You know, about to finish 2024 to go into 2025. Are there, you know, announcements of big projects coming out? Fill us in.
Okay, yeah. Like I always say, I have a project coming up. It's called H2H, H2S. Happy to help, happy to serve. You know, an NGO to give back to the society. Yeah, that's one. And of course, a lot of fans don't like this part. This is what I want to talk about. I was a singer before I went into the house, but a lot of people don't like it when I say it. When I say, okay, of course, I'll do music. They don't like it because they compare me to the former housemates who have done music, and to them, they feel like other housemates, former housemates. We have former housemates who are into music. To them, they feel like music didn't favor them, so they feel like it's not a good route to follow. But I will do music. Yes, and of course, anything that brings money and value, lots of other investments.
And as a couple, anything to look out for?
Yeah, of course. Our YouTube channel. Of course, my wife's business is on the corner. She's on it right now. A lot of other things. We'll announce them.
Well, all the best, KellyRae,
Thank you so much.
Your music, with your different initiatives and your marriage, your wife, and we can't wait to see and maybe have you back here on Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And that's where we end the show today. My name is Isabella Adedeji. Do join us again, same time, same place, for yet another edition of Rubbin Minds next week. Have a great afternoon.